Hello, my name is Kristen, and in this tutorial video I'm going to be demonstrating how to read and plot points, and how to graph a linear equation. So behind me you'll see that I've drawn a couple of axes. The horizontal axis is called the x-axis, and the vertical axis is called the y-axis. When you write a point, you write it as x, y, which means you write the x-coordinate, or how far over left or right it is, and then you write the y-coordinate, or how far up or down it is on the graph. So let's use an example. Say we have a point right there. How would we write that point? Well, first we need to determine what its x-coordinate is. So on a graph, when you read a graph, you need to pay attention to the scale, because oftentimes graphs use different scales. Here we have a scale of 1, which means it increases by 1 each time. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and so on. Some graphs have different scales, like 2, 10, 5, etc. So always pay attention to the scale, because that can throw you off. So, also, when you are looking at a point, remember that when you go up on the y-axis, that results in a positive y-coordinate, and when you go right on the x-axis, that results in a positive x-coordinate. And the opposite is true. If you go left on the x-axis, it's negative, and if you go down on the y, it's negative. So, we can see that our point is over to the right of the y-axis, which means that we have a positive x-coordinate. So we count how many spaces over it is. We can see that it is 5 spaces over, because it's above 5 on the graph. So we know that the x-coordinate for this point is 5. So we can write 5, comma, and then we find the y-coordinate. To do this, we simply count how many spaces up it is on the y-axis. We can see that it's located 4 spaces up, so we simply write 4 for the y-coordinate. So this point here is located at 5, 4. So that's how you plot and read a point. So we're going to erase this now, because now we're going to graph a linear equation. You can see here that we're going to be working with the equation y equals 2x minus 3. To graph a linear equation, all you have to do is plug in a value of x, and then solve for y. Here's an example. Let's use 5 as our x value. Y equals 2 times 5 minus 3. So now all we have to do is solve for y. So we know that 2 times 5 is 10, and then minus 3. 10 minus 3 equals 7. So when x is 5, we know that y is 7. So we come over to our graph, we come over to 5 on the x-axis, and then we go up to 7, and we plot our point. So let's label that 5, 7. Now I'm going to erase this, because I'm going to run out of room on the board if I don't. So, to continue, we just need to pick a different value of x. Let's try negative 2. Y equals 2 times negative 2 minus 3. And we solve. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then minus 3, y equals negative 7. So when our x value is negative 2, our y value is negative 7. So we come down here and we plot that on our graph. We go over to negative 2 on the x-axis, and we go down to negative 7 on the y, and we plot our point there. So let's label that negative 2, negative 7. The graph's kind of in the way, but now we can erase that so we don't run out of room again. You can draw the line at this point for a linear equation, but it's best to have 3 points on the graph, just to be sure that you have the most accurate graph possible. So let's try a third value of x. Let's try 2. Y equals 2 times 2 minus 3. So we evaluate. 2 times 2 is 4 minus 3. Y equals 1. So when the x value is 2, we know that y is 1. So we can write that there. Now you can draw your line, because you have 3 points and you know for sure that your graph is going to be accurate. So I'm going to use this thing here as my straight edge, so I have a nice straight line. You draw your line, guess it's good that I use 3 points anyway, because this is a big graph. My line wouldn't be as straight. So there you have it. That is how you graph a linear equation. In this video, we've learned how to plot and read a point, an xy coordinate, and we also learned how to graph a linear equation. So, thank you for watching this video.